These type of situations happens every day. Every day. At is gambling and shit, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And rob the dice game or whatever, you feel me? No matter who the f they are.
I'm gonna tear that up.
Boosie is back in the spotlight. And no, it ain't because he dropped a hot new track or went viral on Instagram. This time, it's way more intense. We're talking life or death level serious. Duke the jeweler, he's gone, taken out in cold blood. And guess whose name keeps popping up in all the wrong places? Boosie. This ain't some made-up story from random internet trolls. This is real now. There's actual federal paperwork, witnesses, and straight-up evidence surfacing. Social media's going nuts, and the streets are whispering loud, like real loud. What started as side talk in barbershops and DMs has now turned into a straight-up federal investigation, and every new piece of info that drops, it's not looking good for Boosie. It's like somebody's connecting every shady piece and forming one ugly puzzle. From a suspicious traffic stop that got Boosie pulled over, to high-priced jewelry that just vanished into thin air, to multiple eyewitnesses throwing names around, it's all stacking up fast. There was even a heated dice game that might have ended in bloodshed. If you thought this was just some regular street beef, nah, it's deeper than that. Here's how it all started. On the surface, it looked like Boosie was just out riding, minding his business. Then boom, flashing lights, sirens, pulled over by the cops. At first, folks didn't think much of it. Boosie's been through this kind of thing before, but then folks started putting pieces together. Why that car? Why that day? And that's when things got spooky, because that traffic stop, it happened right after Duke the jeweler got gunned down in Houston. That's no wild coincidence. And once people saw the timing, the internet exploded with theories. Now everybody's looking sideways. Then the feds stepped in and they came with heat. This wasn't your regular court mess Boosie's known for. Nah, this one's a whole different beast. According to insiders, the feds told him flat out, this case is separate. No delays, no distractions. They're not treating this like some side quest. They're coming full force, no mercy. Behind the scenes, the feds already making power moves. They split this case up from all Boosie's past legal trouble and started drilling down into what really happened that night. Who was with Duke? Who made it out? And who's trying to disappear now? Boosie may still be making music and posting online like it's business as usual, but to the feds, he's a top-tier person of interest in a federal murder investigation. This ain't a drill, and they're not sitting around waiting for Boosie to slip up. They're watching every step, every call, every post. They want answers, and fast. The feds are already piecing the whole thing together, timeline and all. According to Houston PD's official report, Duke flew in straight from Chicago with one clear goal: to sell some exclusive high-end jewelry to Boosie. This was strictly business, or at least that's what it should have been. Duke had over $1 million worth of custom ice packed tight in his Louis Vuitton bag. This wasn't no small hustle. This was major. Earlier that same day, Duke was spotted chilling at a celebrity boxing match, rubbing shoulders with some big names. After that, he slid into a private dice game, the same one where Boosie and a few others were hanging out. But here's where it gets real shady. Right after that dice game ended, Duke was robbed and shot dead. Minutes later, gone. No jewelry, no Louis bag, and still no answers. Boosie claimed Duke dipped off on his own, and whatever happened after that, he said he had no idea. But with that tight timeline and the fact that Duke flew out just to meet with him, yeah, the feds ain't buying it, not even close. That's when Duke's brother, who goes by Stacks, stepped in and made it crystal clear he wasn't letting his brother's death slide into silence. Stacks started talking, and what he said had everybody listening. He didn't hold back or speak in circles. He came out and said it straight.
Listen, I didn't hire a team. I installed one. See, what I didn't have in head count, I made it 4 horsepower, because
believes Boosie set Duke up. No hints, no subliminal posts, just raw truth. According to Stacks, Boosie was the last person Duke came to see. And right after that, Duke ends up dead. That don't sit right with Stacks.
We'll be able to service tomorrow for Duke. Leave your phones in the car, man. The family don't want no phones, man. We ain't got time, motherfucker, be sneaking no pictures, no videos, no bullshit like that. Leave your phones in the car, man. The family asking for no pictures, no recording and shit like that, man. So if y'all want to get y'all little ass slapped up.
And honestly, it ain't sitting right with a whole lot of folks either. Stacks said he's been doing his own digging, checking footage, studying timestamps, connecting dots like he's solving the case himself. And the way he sees it, Duke ain't just get caught slipping. He got lined up. This whole situation stinks. This one hits different. It's a cold lesson, and the kind that leaves scars. It's one thing to take a loss in the streets, but when it comes from someone you thought you could trust, that's a whole different level of betrayal. Duke pulled up thinking he was handling real business with a known celebrity, someone with status, money, and clout. But what he walked into is starting to look more and more like a setup from the inside. Now, whether Boosie actually had a hand in what went down or if he was just present when things got ugly, that's exactly what the feds are trying to figure out. Either way, though, the damage is already done. Duke ain't coming back, and the streets are demanding answers. Let's break down exactly what Duke rolled in with that night, because this wasn't no average meetup at a dice game. Duke the Jeweler was a name, not just some flashy dude with a chain. He was respected in the jewelry world, crafting custom pieces for celebrities, athletes, and influencers. His reputation was solid. His work, top tier. That night, he was carrying serious weight, over $1 million worth of custom ice, packed in a designer Louis Vuitton duffel bag. He didn't come on no shady move. Duke showed up legit, ready to talk business and elevate his brand. He pulled up in that room with confidence, not hiding, not ducking. He was proud of what he built, flashing his pieces, showing off his skills, and thinking he was among people who recognized the hustle. He was all about the come up, never expecting what came next. But what did he get in return? Silence, vanished jewelry, a missing bag, and his body left behind. People have been digging through timelines, watching footage, connecting dots, and the pattern is getting clearer. After that dice game ended, Duke was gone, and so was the bag. The ice disappeared without a trace. It's like he walked into that room with everything and never made it out with anything. That ain't random. That ain't coincidence. That's a robbery with intent. And now folks are wondering if it was all planned from the jump. No sign of that $1 million setup anywhere. Duke rolled in, but suddenly the cameras were off. No footage, no witnesses. And out of everyone in that room, only one man didn't walk back out alive. Duke. That's not just bad luck. That's too perfect to be random. This whole... But wait, it gets even crazier. That same Louis Vuitton bag, the one Duke brought in with over $1 million worth of custom jewelry? Yeah, Houston PD confirmed it was found inside Boosie's own house. Not a random storage unit, not with a homie, inside his actual crib. Let that sink in for a second. And now, according to the talk on the block, Duke supposedly asked Boosie to hold the bag while they were shooting dice. But when things went left and Duke ended up dead, that bag never made it back to his people. No police report, no statement. It was just sitting there like it belonged to Boosie all along. And here's the real question. If Duke really trusted Boosie enough to hand him $1 million bag, then why didn't Boosie step up after the hit? Why didn't he call the cops? Why didn't he at least reach out to Duke's family? Why was that bag just chilling at his place like nothing even happened? And if that wasn't messy enough, now we got a missing phone in the mix. Duke's phone, gone right after that dice game. Vanished. Nobody knew where it went. Nobody saw a thing. But the feds ain't amateurs. Every phone leaves a trail. It's like a digital fingerprint. And when they traced Duke's phone, it didn't disappear into thin air. Nope, it pinged at Boogie's recording studio. Yeah, you heard that right. Duke's last phone signal led straight to Boogie's spot. So unless that phone grew legs and strolled over there by itself, somebody in Boogie's circle had it. Phones don't teleport. That signal didn't lie. Either somebody got reckless or they thought nobody was paying attention to that studio ping. That was the last known location before the phone went dark. Permanently. Another link back to Boosie. And when the feds checked Duke's rental truck, what they found wasn't some mystery suspect. It was even worse. They pulled Boosie's own nephew's fingerprints from inside that car. That's bloodline right there. Boosie's inner circle getting pulled deeper into the mess. And it ain't just one relative. Next thing you know, Boogie's little cousin gets roped in too. That's 2 family members, both directly connected to the crime scene. And this ain't no rumor mill drama. This is cold, hard forensic evidence, fingerprints, real proof, no guessing games. The feds, they live for this kind of evidence. In court, it's like gold. And when the prints match people tied to the suspect, that's a slam dunk for prosecution. But it doesn't stop there. Nah, it gets even wilder. There was a witness, just a regular person stepping outside to smoke. And what they said changed everything. They told investigators they saw Duke leaving Boogie's house. At first, it looked like nothing. Duke was walking calm, relaxed, like he had no worries. Just another day, just another deal. But then, out of nowhere, Boogie's nephew came creeping from the side, not from the front door, not even casually walking up. Nah, this dude was lurking, like he was waiting in position, like the play was already set in motion. And if you believe what's laid out in those federal documents and what the street's been saying heavy, Duke knew something was off. They're saying he didn't freeze, he didn't run. Nah, he swung first. He tried to defend himself. Word is, Duke tried to fight his way out of the trap, but it was already too late. That's when Boogie's nephew allegedly pulled the strap and let off. No yelling, no threats, no warning, just one move, quick and deadly. And just like that, it was done. Clean. Cold, calculated, and it all happened right outside the same spot where Duke thought he was safe, doing legit business with someone he thought he could trust. This wasn't some spur-of-the-moment beef in the streets. This was personal. The way it played out, fast, silent, controlled, it screams premeditated. But you want to know the real slip-up, the thing that got the whole squad sitting under that federal spotlight? They kept the jewelry. Whether they robbed him on purpose or just never handed it back, it doesn't matter. That Louis Vuitton bag, the one packed with over $1 million in icy custom pieces, never made it home to Duke's family. It stayed in Boosie's possession, still sitting there while Duke's phone was tracked, not to some random burner spot, but directly to Boogie's recording studio. That's two major links, the bag and the phone, and both point right back to Boosie's front door. That ain't just gossip. That's evidence, that's motive, and that's exactly how the feds start stacking up a case brick by brick once they followed that trail from the stolen jewelry to the missing phone to the exact people who ended up holding it. It was a wrap. But just when you thought this story couldn't get any messier, it does. Now folks are turning their eyes toward Jay Prince, and they're asking the real questions, because if Jay Prince really runs Houston like they say he does, how did something this wild go down on his turf without him knowing anything? Let's keep it all the way real. Jay Prince is notorious for enforcing that check-in culture. If you pull up to H-Town, you better check in or things can turn ugly quick. Robberies, setups, disappearances, folks know the rules.
If you're a man over 30 who makes at least 150 grand a year and you're still embarrassed to take your shirt off at the pool,
supposed to be a certain protocol for people to check in?
No, and I begin with me, and then he can speak, and they can speak for the other generation. But I'm a never, you know what I mean? We don't have time for no sucker shit like that. Now a lot of people from the different police departments and all these different people want to insinuate like we extorting people. They have to check.
It's how the city runs, and it's been that way for years. So if Duke really came to Houston on business and he did check in like he was supposed to, then it raises a whole new question. Did somebody give the green light? Because now it's looking like this hit wasn't random. It's looking like someone might have let it happen right under the nose of the one man who's supposed to have the whole city on lock. Even people with deep mob ties are speaking out, saying maybe Boosie's nephew acted on his own, but not everyone's buying that. Too many eyes still locked on Jay Prince, wondering how something this major slid through his city on his watch without even a whisper or warning. And here's a key detail a lot of people are missing, something that could change everything. Sources close to the scene say Duke was winning big that night. He wasn't just sitting in on the dice game for fun. He was clearing the table. Duke was taking stacks off everybody, including Boosie's own circle. That's when the energy shifted. What started as a chill, high-stakes game turned awkward real fast, because when money starts flying one way and egos start bruising, it don't take long for things to turn. Pride and pockets, two things you don't mess with. And Duke, he was winning too much, too fast. The room went quiet, too quiet. The kind of silence that ain't peaceful is the kind that screams something's about to pop off. So now we're left with the biggest questions of all. Did Duke walk into a setup from the jump, or did a lucky streak at the dice game spiral into something deadly? Was Boosie the mastermind, or just a pawn caught up in a much bigger play? And when the truth finally comes out, who's really gonna take the fall?
Duke the Jeweler got set up by Boosie. This is the full video. Watch it all and subscribe.
What you here for?
Boosie told them before this whole thing started, before the party flyer went out, that he was gonna spend and get that $1 million jewelry from Duke the Jeweler, but he had to find a way to get it back, because ain't no way Boosie was gonna spend all that money without knowing that he was gonna get some type of lick out of it. Every time he do something like that and it's over $1 million on the line, that's when we end up hearing what went down. And so when we seen what happened, the fact of the matter is that he signed up to the people at the door to say how much that they had on him. So when they seen that Duke the Jeweler had over $645,000 in his purse, then that's when they approached him and said, you have to step to the side and go to the VIP room meeting. They locked the door behind it. The dude in the red backpack came in. That's when you seen the dude with the cornrow dreads like 2 Chainz reach into the backpack, and he grabbed something, and you see the clip hanging out the side of it. they told him, everybody was, by the time that he got out that room, everybody else was gone. And the dudes followed him out. So they knew exactly where Duke the Jeweler was going to, man. And they took the money right there and found a way to do it so that he could get the money back from the jewelry. But then they also tried to hit the lick for the jewelry because he found a way to escape out the whole dice game. Most of the time, people get hit up at the dice game. And so because he didn't check in, that's when they was like, okay, we have to get him at the concert. And then that was them seeing that was an opportunity to actually be able to touch that million in jewelry without having to up the cash. Most of the time, people will put you on the front if it's over $1 million like that. You got to understand that's where the whole situation with the jewelers and the rappers, most of them is getting fronted the jewelry. And so when Duke the Jeweler said he wasn't going to front Boosie, and the only way he does business is cash up front, and he didn't want to do the cash advance. Duke the Jeweler was supposed to get the $1 million cash advance before he even drove down to the concert. So he took a risk filling up his gas tank and going all the way down there. That's a 17.5-hour drive. A lot of you people who truckers on the road would know that. So by the time he got to H-Town, he looked at it and he said, Boosie, how come you didn't send the wire yet? He said, yeah, I'm trying to get you the bread, but I had to put the credits on the dice game. Come to the dice game with your money, and I'm going to make sure you get your money back. But it wasn't a guarantee. Then that's when they lost in the dice game.
And this is what made Duke the Jeweler start even participating in the dice game, because Duke the Jeweler knew he didn't come out there with his bag of jewelry with over $600,000 worth of jewelry. Come on now, in the bag, in Boosie room, and he got Shorty and them guarding the door, but Boosie kept whistling. This is what made Duke the Jeweler really pay attention and zoom in to Shorty. Duke the Jeweler looking at the top of his glasses. Y'all already know Cartier glasses, you can see out of a portion of them because it has like a two-tone tint fade. We know for a fact that you can buy them for cheap. You feel me? You can buy them for $2,000, $3,000. Some Cartiers got diamonds in them. We already know for a fact that you can get them. Everybody sat back and look at Boosie like, why would you keep whistling, man? People kept on turning around like, what? Like what? Like who whistling? And then once they cut the video off, they was like, Boosie, I heard you over there whistling. He was like, man, I'm just playing. He acted like he trying to throw them off and shoot dice, but Boosie was standing behind Duke the whole time. Why would you be standing behind a dude with a lot of jewelry on, even though you got jewelry on yourself? But why would you be behind this man? You could have instantly stepped off and been on the other side from the beginning. But we know for a fact they followed him outside. He had all that jewelry with him. If you
Atera is the IT painkiller. Remote monitoring and management, remote access, help desk.
Never brought all that jewelry and started winning and licking them on the dice, he would have never got sent up, man, because they wanted that money back. All them dudes in there, half of them ran half the city of Fifth Ward. We know how they got out in the Fifth Ward. And Lil Kim was there. RP Takeoff. RP Takeoff, man, because Lil Kim was in there when Duke the Jeweler got sent up, and people thought that Takeoff, like, you feel me, he was at a dice game right before he got sent up. So they tried to link it together. The feds, they sat there and said, like, yeah, we got to take Lil Kim down. Lil Kim was the main one who kept looking at Duke the Jeweler. And Lil Kim, he opened the door for Duke the Jeweler to leave. Once Duke the Jeweler left, the dude popped out the side who had the black-white beat on. People said that was Lil Kim, boy. They had him on camera because his hair wasn't even that long then. Because we know for a fact a couple months passed and his hair grew at least 1.5 inches. We sat back and saw how he instantly kept mean mugging him. And old girl on the side, she kept telling Jay Prince, yeah, look at that, look at him over there shining. All that money he got.
And the feds found out Lil Kim had with the whole Lil Kim and Boosie had the underground dice game ring operation going on. And that's why they was trying to put the stop to it. So once they tricked Duke the Jeweler into going into the dice game, Boosie had said that he was going to have 3 signals. The first one was going to be a signal to Duke the Jeweler to let him know when to go all in so that he could get his $1 million for the jewelry. The other two signals, he told Duke the Jeweler, was gonna be a fake whistle and a fake other thing blinking. And so when that happened, Duke the Jeweler think those are the fake signals. But Boosie told the Lil Cam and the dude with the red backpack that the two other fake signals is actually their signal to let them know when to up the pole and when to grab the money. And so once he gave the signal, Duke the Jeweler put $645,000 on the table. He went all in and pushed it in. The dude in the jersey called a bluff. The guy on the other side said he's going to step out the game. He folded it. He folded his whole entire amount out. Then that's when the dude, Boosie, gave the fake signal. That's when the dude walked behind him and he upped out the backpack the fake dice. He told Duke the Jeweler he got to roll with this dice. Then the dude all the way across the table hit the power button on the table. It's a magnetic table and the trick dice. So when Duke the Jeweler rolled it, he rolled it. The one of the dice hit the top of the money stack. Boom. It rolled and he got snake eyes. It was like in slow motion. It made it so that he lost the $645,000 right away. He tried to say, hold on, wait a minute. That hit the top of the money. We need a replay. The dude with the tight shirt, he came up. He was the hefty one. He came up. He grabbed the money and said, no, that's over. That's mine. I called the bluff. That's when the dude in the jersey turned around and told Boosie to twist the door sideways. And that's when Lil Cam came out and he told him to restart the whole thing, but he can't keep the $645K. So he said, wait, I don't got no more money to put down. Then he said, okay, then we have to play it again at the concert. And then that's when they broke off.
And this is why they instantly told Boosie, like, yeah, why Duke the Jeweler leaving? Duke the Jeweler, he heard him. He said, man, I'm finna get ready to go, man. I got to get up early tomorrow to sell some pieces. And Boosie said, man, well, let's finish our transaction. That's when Boosie had told Duke the Jeweler, go in the room. Once Duke the Jeweler went in the room, that's when the nephew now, they instantly stand by the door. They was fake acting like they was his security. I want y'all to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel.
That truck that came in was unidentified when that dude ran out. They held him right there. It was a standoff. It was almost like a hostage type of situation. And it was right there where Duke had his up. He was about to hit up the dude, but that's when the other guy came right behind. And that's when the only thing that was left was that same cup that Boosie had in his hand, man. You got to understand, Boosie said it on his own. He turned into a completely different person. At one moment, everything could be going smooth, going good. Everybody having a good time at these dice games, at these parties. They rented out the mansion. They rented out the Airbnb, everything like that. But then all of a sudden, after Boosie takes a couple sips, everything turned loose. Everything turned upside down. People start getting held up. Dudes start getting dragged into the side room. All you hear is them dragging their nails onto the ground and into the carpet, and you hear the screaming coming from the hallway as they echo down as the dudes is taking them out, man. And this is why the feds been watching him while the Duke the Jeweler thing was going on, and they haven't stopped watching him since. And this is what's coming back up now as getting Boosie, and you gotta understand that it's all related to him having that lecture with the cup.
And everybody really sat back and saw that the DA, she stated this had to been something that happened. From the inside, people looked at this as if it was just a normal, just a random, somebody just ran up on Duke the Jeweler to try to take his chain. No. Once Duke the Jeweler left out, he was going to the red truck. It was at 350. Y'all already know the Ford, the big thing. People sat back and looked at it. People thought that it was a game. People really put their eyes on what's going on, and they said, you know what? This was a setup, because as soon as they walked, even in the hallway, that's when they tried to snatch the chain. This is why Duke the Jeweler turned around, and then Duke the Jeweler fell. Once he fell, he tried to instantly run back up in there, but they was blocking the way with the blinking. They had the blicky out in the hallway. The other dude who popped out the side of the crease in the wall, he was the main one who basically ran Duke the Jeweler off. Next thing you know, Duke the Jeweler run out the building. He run to the car. This is where Duke the Jeweler proceeded to go in the glove compartment. Once Duke the Jeweler went in the glove compartment, he pulled his little thing out that he came out there with because he drove out there. He did not realize, like, just instantly hop off the plane and go straight to Boosie. I know he hopped off the plane and went to get a rental. And this is where he took care of his business. He went meet his homie. They instantly gave him one of them things. He instantly pulled up, went to Boosie thing. So this is where, at the end of the night, everybody knows. Once Duke the Jeweler reached in there and grabbed that, he lifted the blicky at Shorty. Shorty instantly, boom, boom. Once he started blowing, this is why Boosie them instantly looked out the window. They wanted to know who was getting hit up. They wanted to make sure his nephew didn't want to get hit up. Everybody said they stopped the dice game once they heard what was going on. And I want everybody to pay attention to it. They kept saying, as soon as they left, they instantly ran back up in the building in less than 15 minutes.
R.I.P. Duke, man. R.I.P. Duke.